So recently I made a video about the top 5 things that you need to know before investing into residential real estate. I made this video because I think that a lot of gurus out there and YouTubers don't tell the truth and they sugarcoat the process. There's this belief that residential real estate investments, they're all peaches and cream, everything's easy, money just rains from the sky and nothing ever goes wrong. I thought it was important that you hear the truth about what can go wrong and what you need to know so you can be motivated. Now, that being said, with that video, I don't think I actually motivated anybody to go out and start purchasing real estate. And because this video is about critical thinking and all about perspective, I thought that in this video, I could go over the top 5 reasons why you need to invest in residential real estate. Hello. I'm Andrew and this is the Dad Manual. And this is my attempt as a dad, and only a dad, to talk about my experience and why I think investing into residential real estate is a good idea. Keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not a fiduciary. This is for entertainment, and I'm only giving you my perspective of how I feel about residential rental real estate. As far as my experience, I spent a year and a half learning before I ever purchased my first property. Once I made that purchase, I spent the next year gaining my professional housing provider certification through National RIA. I now own 6 properties with 10 apartments, and I focus on affordable housing. So let's get on into it. The first reason it's important is because the world needs professional housing providers. There's just plain and simple a lot of places around the country that need fixed up. You may have heard the term jerry-rigged in the past. Well, we should cut to the chase. Jerry was never any good at rigging anything. That's just the truth. And people today lack the critical thinking skills to do the research to find out how to do things properly. They are dependent on somebody else coming in and fixing things from a first principles mindset, going all the way down to the root cause and fixing it correctly. People have a right to live in safe, clean, and well taken care of homes. That's right, I tend to look at real estate as if it's a public service. A service specific to a community. It may be idealistic being I'm a veteran, because I know some veterans turn out to be war criminals. However, it's important that we go ahead and fix up these areas in order to build them back better. Without us, these areas get dilapidated and eventually it all crumbles with time. The second reason you need to get involved is because of control. Rental real estate is one of the few places that you can go where you have almost complete 100% say over how the job gets done. You're the boss. You're the one managing the asset. You're the one leading the team, or even possibly doing the work yourself. This may sound like a control freak to some of you, but there are a few things that feel as good as finishing a job correctly. And with real estate, you have nobody to blame but yourself. You're in complete control, which means you get to be the one to learn, you get to be the one to reap the benefits. The third reason you need to be involved is because cash flow is king. This is a quote you've probably heard in the past, and in my experience, it's 100% true. See, an asset is only an asset when it actually pays you for owning it. Otherwise, it's a liability. It could be a storage of value, but it's only an asset once it gives you back money. Real estate is one of the best performing assets out there when managed properly. String enough of them together and not only do they support themselves, they can support you as well, and you can basically live for free. The fourth reason you need to be involved in rental real estate is so you can leverage debt to build wealth. Debt is a powerful tool. It's kind of like a gun. If you don't treat it with respect, it can destroy entire lives. However, if you ever read comic books when you were a kid, like Spider-Man, and listened to Peter Parker talk about with great power comes great responsibility, you'll know that if you use debt responsibly, you can actually build huge amounts of wealth. Debt is your friend in real estate, at least using it responsibly, because you can take equity from a property that you already own, take it out as debt, minimize your risk within that property, and use that money that you would not normally have access to go out and purchase more properties and increase your cash flow. The reason this is so powerful is because of inflation. Inflation is a debtor's friend. I get a little annoyed when I hear all these people talking about how inflation is so bad.
This is what inflation is. It's a hidden tax because you don't even see it happening.
To make matters worse, I just recently saw an article called "The Dollar is Getting Weaker." What does that mean, the dollar is getting weaker? I want to know. As a saver and as an investor, how does this affect me? Immediately, it makes me think of inflation because we've been printing away so much money.
And the reason I get annoyed is because when you own rental real estate, the more inflation goes up over time, the less your money that you owe is worth as a comparison to how much you make. Think about it this way. The price of bread goes up every single year. If I signed a contract back 30 years ago, when I was a kid and you could buy bread for under 50 cents, and I signed a 30-year contract and today was still purchasing a loaf of bread for somewhere around 35 to 55 cents, that would be a steal in today's market. That's what you're doing when you're locking in fixed rate mortgages for a 30-year term, is you're actually taking that money and you're buying it at a cheaper value compared to what you could. The fifth and final reason that you need to be involved in rental real estate is because of the mad tax incentives associated with owning rental real estate. I'm not one of these people who don't believe in paying taxes. However, I recognize the government is not a charity. And because it's not a charity, there are better places to put your money if you are going to give it to charity. And I do think it's stupid to pay more than what you actually should be paying. The reason the rules were written the way that they were written are so that way people can take advantage of them and get more accomplished. The government actually wants you to provide affordable housing. That's why the tax code is written that way. It still seems weird to me that I can be cash flow positive and build my wealth while on paper I'm physically losing money. That's just what real estate is. And I really recommend, if you're interested in getting involved in rental real estate, that you seek out professional accountants and tax lawyers to help you structure your setup so that way you too can take advantage of the benefits provided. Well, that about wraps up today's episode. What I want to know, though, is what you think are the top 5 things about owning residential rental real estate. Tell me about them down in the comments below. And thanks again for joining me today. If you haven't done so already, please give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and share this with one of your friends or family. It really does help out the channel. Here we post videos every Tuesday and Friday. And until next time, I'm Andrew Sherman. This is the Dad Manual. And remember, failure isn't bad. Failure to try and learn is. Have a good one.